Hi guys, I hope you are all well. Game week 23 has finally come to a close. Thank goodness for that. And in the great words of Delia, game week 24, let's be having ya. We're ready for it. It's deadline day. Let's get into it. We've got some big decisions to make, lots to talk about. There's plenty of you on wildcards, so that's something to be thinking about as well. I'm not on a wildcard at the moment. This is currently my team on the screen. I don't know if you guys would have seen my team selection video yesterday, but this is me lining up without any transfers. And to be honest, I don't really like it. As you can see, I have a bit of a mess. I don't really have any bench at all, only Livramento propping me up there, which isn't great. And I think captaincy decision would be stuck between Jota and Bowen. Let me just grab the chat so I can keep an eye on what you guys are saying, because that's kind of important. There we go. I couldn't see it before. It was just hidden amongst the sea of windows, which, you know, wasn't great. So yeah, as I say, in this team is lacking, and I've been thinking about how I'm going to go forward, who I'm going to bring in for the coming game weeks, and I've had a couple of options on the table, which I will try and talk all of you guys through in just a moment, because it's a little bit to get your heads around. But just for the moment, we just have to say Salah is back. Mohamed Salah is back. Klopp said Mo is now back. I spoke already with him. He is very disappointed, of course, but looking forward to all the things coming up now. I spoke to him, and pretty much the first thing Mo told me was, I'm ready. So like us for game week 24, Mo is ready to go. Now this does scupper my plans. I'm not going to lie to you guys, it really messes up some of my plans, because if you will have seen my team selection video yesterday, I was considering getting KDB in, who was going to pretty much be one of the placeholders for Mo going forward. So there's lots to think about. I'm a little bit kind of, like, I kind of wanted him just to have a rest this week, because it would have made my decisions for my transfers a little bit easier. I think it would have taken that pressure off. Like Klopp has said that Mane is definitely out, but he's been very coy on whether saying Salah will definitely play or not. And there are pictures floating around of him in training today. So we all know that Mo is an absolute machine, and he is so good at recovering and just keep going. And if he's available, he wants to play. So this is giving me a headache and a half, because a lot of you guys will know from my little chat that I've pretty much been down a KDB or Ronaldo route for the last 2 days, and I've been kind of deciding between them. The only real decision beyond that has been whether I go for Mahrez instead of KDB, because thinking sneaky differential on little Mahrez. So yeah, this is tough. Right, let me get you back to the screen and show you what my team value is currently. So my team value currently is, oh, not that one. Why has it done that? Just grab it for you now. 2 seconds, peepies. That. So this is my team currently, and it's, yeah, it's all right. It's allowing me with that 5.8 in the bank to pretty much do anyone to anyone. And I think that's the temptation then, is effectively to look at somebody like KDB, which, if I bring you up the KDB graphic I have, so the KDB graphic that I'm considering is this one. How are you doing all anyway today while I... Hey Nathan, welcome. Hi Rully, Focus. Akshay, hi. Musa, hi. Sam's in. Dan's in. Hi guys, how you all doing? Okay. So, this was basically my plan drawn out for KDB. So if I was to get KDB in my team. Now this is FPL.team, so, you know, go make sure you check them out if, you know, if you want to kind of do a bit of planning ahead. I struggled a little bit with some of the planning and not being able to kind of see all my teams in place. So with that, I kind of just did this screenshot and tiled them all together, which, you know, was really helpful. So effectively, my moves this week to consider were Kilman in for Rudiger, which allows me some extra cash to put Gray up to KDB and captain him, which was kind of my kind of go-to plan. Then, I'm not sure if you guys can see, that would leave me with De Gea, Trent, Cancelo, Dawson, De Bruyne, Jota, Bowen, Fernandez, captain for the double game week, Trossard with the double game week, Antonio and Dennis. Dennis versus King, you know, that one, it's a tough one. I would then be rolling a transfer that week to give me 2 transfers in game week 26, which would allow me to then move KDB and Bruno out for Son and Salah. And that would give me Ramsdale with his double, Trent with his double, Kilman with his double, Cancelo with Tottenham, Son with his double, Jota with his double, Bowen with Newcastle, Salah with his double as captain, possible triple captain, Antonio with Newcastle, and then Dennis and King with their doubles too. Now, as that's game week 26, that would be for free because I'd be rolling game week 25. However, I could, if he's back by then, potentially move King or Dennis to Brozier if I was getting a bit sick of the whole Watford front line, effectively. Now, this would then leave me with an actual team for game week 27, which is a blank, and it would mean moving all of my Liverpool players, all 3 of my Liverpool players, to the bench. But I would have De Gea, Dawson, Kilman, Cancelo, Livramento, Son as captain, Trossard, Bowen, Antonio, Dennis and King, possibly Brozier instead. And then obviously I did another game week as well, just to see how that would look ongoing. But by then I'm probably into some sort of wild card territory then anyway. So this is that mapped out. I quite like it. I was quite settled on it, but I was also having a little think, it has to be said, on whether or not to go for Ronaldo. So he was my other option in this -4 this week. And this is that setup. So it would be going Kilman in for Rudiger, again to free up that cash. Now, Kilman could be Webster. He has a double game week. Kilman could be Dalot. He has a double game week in the other set of transfers. But obviously in this set of transfers he can't be, because I'd have 3 United already with having De Gea. So the moves this week would be that 4.5 defender and Ronaldo. I wouldn't be confident to captain either Ronaldo or Fernandes this week, so I'd place the captaincy either on Jota or Bowen. Maybe Cancelo as an outside shout, but Jota or Bowen probably. Then moving on to game week 24, I would roll again. This would give me De Gea for the double, Trent, Cancelo, Dawson, Trossard with his double, Jota, Bowen, Fernandes captain, Ronaldo captain. Who knows, out of those two, that would be a coin toss in itself. Gray, Antonio and Ronaldo. Then I'd be rolling, so I'd have 2 free transfers. So then looking to game week 26, I would change Bruno and Ronaldo to Salah and Kane, which would give me Ramsdale for his double, Trent for his double, Kilman / whoever I go for there, but obviously, yeah, Webster or Dalot don't have the double. Sorry, that would also involve a -4 for getting Ramsey in, because I'm just a little short on getting Salah and Kane in this one. So Ramsey would be in, I'd play him, Jota, Bowen, Salah again, possible triple captain, Antonio, Kane and King. This then would move me on to a game week, blank game week 27 of De Gea, Livramento, Cancelo, Kilman, Dawson, Ramsey, Bowen, Gray, Antonio, Kane and King, with all of my Liverpool guys on the bench. But obviously, depending on how the situation's going by then, I might want to sell, say, Jota for somebody like Coutinho or Rafinha, or, you know, there's plenty that could be done by then. Obviously, I would only have 1 transfer. But if I did just decide to roll in that, it would give me, you know, a good team for game week 28, and with 2 transfers, you know, potentially looking ahead to game week 30. Now, the reason I'm a little, let's say, hesitant on, like, not wanting to use any chips right now and planning so far ahead now is because I'm being hesitant with my transfers and my chips, because I want to know what's going to happen in the FA Cup and what's going to happen with that game week 30 fixture. Now, I only have 1 free hit, so for me, planning to blank game week 27 is crucial. It's crucial because if I decide I don't want to wildcard, you know, on the way to game week 27, or use any chips on the way to game week 27, I have a team that I'm happy with until game week 27. Now, that can change. Anything can change. Somebody can get injured. You know, rotation can happen. All of these things. But it's nice just having a general plan in place, I feel, because it's easier then to fall back on the plan and, you know that you have one. But if I decide 24-25's gone horribly for me, I hate it, I hate Ronaldo, I hate Bruno, I hate everybody in my team, then I'm not going to stop myself from wildcarding just because I have a plan until game week 27. The plan just effectively means that I have a plan and that I can fall back on it, and I know that I have a team for game week 27. Now, on balance, looking at KDB versus the Ronaldo team, I preferred the Ronaldo team more long term. I think that's mainly because I wasn't looking at 2 Watford forwards for, for a number of weeks after what they've just done to us. So that's why I was kind of leaning on that. However, what I have worked out now is that I can do the KDB moves, 24, 25, and where I would be taking a -4 here for Kane, Salah and Ramsey in this Ronaldo move, selling Dennis, KDB and Bruno, I just do the same moves, exactly the same moves, so that these teams here would be exactly the same going forward effectively. So I'd have, instead of having Ronaldo and Ronaldo for these 2 weeks, I'd have KDB and KDB for these 2 weeks. But in the game week 20, ahead of game week 26, I would still take the -4 that I would take in the Ronaldo draft. But effectively, instead of moving my funds to Salah and Son, I would be moving them to Salah, Kane, and Ramsey. The KDB draft, I think, allows me a bit more flexibility to decide whether I want Son or Kane when I get to game week 26. Whereas I don't think the Ronaldo one does as much. I could still move Ronaldo down, but then it's pretty much going back to Dennis or King effectively, unless by then somebody else has emerged around a similar kind of price that I could put in for Ronaldo and then move my funds back to midfield. So I don't know, it just feels a little more on the safer side with that one. So I guess the question we have to discuss now, above most things else, is whether or not to go for Salah effectively. Because I think deciding whether or not to go for him now is going to be the biggest decision for me. Because I think I've decided that if I'm not going Salah, then KDB is the route that I'm going to take. I'm terrified of Ronaldo next game week, and having both Ronaldo and Bruno would be amazing, and I feel like I would feel more confident going into that game week, that double game week, having both of them and not worrying about being on the wrong side of the double game week player, which I was last time, which was really horrible. However, I just prefer KDB this week, and there's no getting around that. So the only way I think I'm going to look past KDB this week is if I just full on get Salah back into my team, to be honest with you guys. And I think that is the only way that I would consider it. I mean, I guess the way I could feel a little better about my double game week players is then potentially to go with, you know, getting a Dalot or a Webster in for next game week. But I have the exact cash pretty much to get a 4.5 any of them and Salah in. The problem is I'm kind of back to a Bowen or Jota, or even making that horrible decision on whether to captain Salah himself this game week, which is a little tough, I feel. So I'm going to come to the chat now and see what you guys are saying, because I feel like I've talked for ages. Okay. If I had Salah, I think I'd captain him, Dan says, after the final loss. I'd imagine the best way to get over that is to play, score and win on Thursday. Absolutely. Hi, Rafiki. Welcome. Anyone going for Mahrez? Yeah, no, see, like, I love Mahrez as a pick. And I think if I was feeling really brave, then I would go for it. But at the moment, I think, I don't know, I'm just thinking of security effectively with sticking with KDB or Salah. Focus says captaincy will be split, I think, this game week. Hi Sparta, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're all good. If you're enjoying the stream, guys, then please do like and subscribe. It's all very much welcome. I'm very grateful to all of you guys. So yeah, what do you think? Do you think I should just get Salah in and stop faffing about with all this planning effectively? Or do you like the KDB pick, or do you like the Ronaldo pick for the next 2 game weeks and then moving on to Salah and a Spurs player? Because that's effectively the only 2 decisions, is basically deciding whether or not to go Salah now, just have him in, forget about the decisions, he's there, you know, worry about it down the line effectively. Or just try and get the best out of Bruno now or Ronaldo now in the coming weeks, the coming 2 game weeks, which of course is when we sit down and we actually look at the wider picture. 24 and 25 are only tonight and then the weekend. So actually they feel like a long time in terms of, like, when you look at the fixtures and, oh, it's 24 and 25, it could be this week, that next week, I'll be waiting. But actually by the weekend, 25 will be over, and then 26 you can get Salah in your team, you know, and hopefully you've had potentially Ronaldo points or KDB's points in that time. So that's what I've got to weigh up effectively. So I'm loving to get some ideas from you guys on what you think on that one. Afternoon, Mark. David says, I definitely prefer the KDB pick now. I think you need Ron if you have if you don't. So that's if you don't have Bruno. And it would be too many transfers to get both. And then Maestro says, get Ronaldo in. So Matt says his price will presumably rise this week and next. So have you got the funds to get him in later? Are we talking about Salah? Because if we're talking about Salah, then in both my KDB and my Ronaldos, I'm getting Ramsey in as part of the -4, the mini wildcard, because I'd be rolling transfer in game week 25. And with that in mind, I'd have about a point, I think something between a 0.6 and a 1.1 swing. So yeah, it should be okay. I should be able to cover any rise for Salah by then. So that's kind of the vibe. In fact, if we pop back to this screen and I bring up the planner, we can have a quick check. So let's do the KDB route. So this is FPL.team, guys. So just in case anyone was wondering. So this would currently be my team, but I'd be getting Dawson out. No, not Dawson. I'd be getting Rudiger out for and I would be getting Gray out for Kevin. Oh, it's gonna do surname, isn't it? So that's how that would look this week. Yeah. So then on to next week, where I would roll. Of course, I would make Fernandez captain. I would put Trossard back in, probably dropping one of King or Dennis to the bench. Probably vice captain De Bruyne there, I would have thought. And then obviously putting KDB in. And then the next That leaves 0.5 in the bank. Then the next week I would be selling De Bruyne against Tottenham for Salah. And I would be selling, let's say, Dennis. Not King, Kane even. Let's say Kane. And then we'd be popping that one rather than that one. Which would leave me 0.7 in the bank, wiggle room. Of course, I would play. Oops. Of course, I would play King. Probably ahead of Trossard. I would probably be triple captaining. And that's pretty much how the team would look by game week 27, by 26, sorry, and going forward. Obviously, if I wanted to do Son in rather than Kane in, then I think I'd have to reset the team, but I think it does leave me a bit of wiggle room, not quite as much. I still may have to do a -4 there to find the extra bit of cash, but to be honest, Dawson's a bit pricey at that 4.7, so if it's like a 0.2 or 0.3 that I'm off, I'd be happy to drop Dawson back down to a 4.5 million if I wanted to go for Son rather than Kane. But of course, then I am all in on Watford attack. So, did you guys see any of that, or did it not show you? Did it not? I don't know why it's being funny today with the I bet it didn't just show any of that, did it? Having an absolute mare today with the right. I have to do that again now, won't I? Did you guys see any of that? Because if you didn't see any of that, I'll reset it and start again. Oh dear. I'm just clicking away there. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so effectively, let's try that again. Oh dear. Okay, so this is what the team looks like now, currently, without any transfers. The plan before hearing that Salah was back was to move Gray out for De Bruyne, and was to move Rudiger because I was low on funds, only 5 mil or less. But I put Kilman in, but it could be Dalot, it could be Webster, who would have a double game week next game week. Of course, I would captain De Bruyne, vice captain. So that would be my team this week if I went with KDB. Then next week, the plan would be to roll. I would obviously put Trossard in, probably over King. I would probably, for all my better judgment, end up captaining Fernandes over De Bruyne, because I'd be worried that De Bruyne might get a rest against Norwich. But what I'm liking about my bench is that there's lots to cover any rotation there. So that would be game week 25. And then in game week 26, where we have the double, I'd bring Kilman back in, obviously. I'd bring King back in, although I would be considering transferring him out. I'd obviously play Ramsdale. And the moves I would make here with 2 free transfers are I would take King out and put Kane in. I'd take De Bruyne out and put Salah in. And I would be 6.5 short, so I would take Fernandes out, and I can go anyone at 5.2 or less. But just for the cash, I would probably go Ramsey, also because at the moment he plays both 26 and 27, so that is why I would do that. And that actually is quite a nice bench boostable team as well. There's not many doubles on the bench, but it's a nice bench boostable team. But yes, I would have the wiggle room for Salah. So unless he's going to go up 0.6 by game week 26, which will only be next week, remember, then yeah, I would have the funds for that. And it would just be whether or not I wanted to go for Son and Salah rather than KDB and Salah. I'd have to consider maybe where I get the little extra from. But as I was saying, if it's something like 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, could maybe take a couple from Dawson if need be. Or I have Trossard there as a bit of a cash cow who I'd be happy to kind of offer up to the transfer gods as a sacrifice, because I'm pretty sure he's going to end up letting me down again at some point, probably in the next double to come, and I'll end up kind of tearing my hair out. What we could do, which I think would be quite good, would be, let's see what happens if we just put Salah in from the off and how that looks. So excuse me. Salah. Oh, it's not. Why is it not taking? Let's take. Oh no, we're having a moment, are we? Should we maybe try refreshing you again? See what happens there. There we go. I won't be paying Kilman against Arsenal. As much as he'll probably keep a clean sheet, knowing our luck. Let's put Salah in. And of course, if you're buying Salah, you're playing Salah. I mean, you don't not play him. Who I captain, however, here is a right headache. It's just a headache. Like, if Salah's in your team, you want to captain him. But if he isn't starting, it's an absolute nightmare. Could be a massive captaincy differential this week, though, if you decided to go for it. Anyway, captaincy aside, this is how this team would look next game week. Obviously, I'd move the captaincy to Bruno because double and all. Put De Gea back in. Put Trossard back in. Ugh. Making Trossard vice captain. That's scary. So that's how that would look for game week 25. Roller transfer. Taking a -4 this hit, so that would probably be a good thing to do. That's how this then looks for game week 26. I don't have any money in the bank here, so I'd have to free up some cash if I wanted, I don't know, Kane or something like that. But I guess at this point, with 2 free transfers, Bruno could become Son, and then I would probably have a fair bit of cash, I would have thought, then to move forward to maybe. I know the Watford lads have a double, but will we still want the Watford lads by then is a question to ask many people. But Dennis could then be like 1.1 million, have a 1.1 million boost up top of 7 million. Isn't probably going to get me a whole lot, to be honest, in the double game week. But maybe Brozier will be back by then. Maybe Vaghurst. I don't actually. Do they have a double? They don't have the double yet, do they? Announced in there. I'm not sure. I'd have to check who has a double game week there. A bit closer to the time. But yeah, that is a potential route if I just go Salah from the back, like today. Just forget about KDB, forget about Ronaldo, and just go all in on Salah. Nathan says 8 Nori is a class pick in my opinion. Now, Nathan, wanted to ask you, missed a couple of games there, didn't he? Couple of game weeks ago. Do we know why he did? Because that's the only thing putting me off of him. But also, I really quite like the fact that Kilman has got a return recently, and he does have a goal and an assist this season. And he's played 90 minutes of every match in every game. So I just like the kind of consistency of that. So let's pop you guys back to the other graphics. And I'll pull my site back up again on here. There you go. So you can see the team as it is now. Nucleus says, I'm assuming we're talking about Salah. Great point. We can wait for Salah since he is likely to come on from the bench against Leicester, and we won't captain Salah against Burnley. True. We're not going to be captaining in a double game week. We would go for Ronaldo or Bruno, depending on which one you have. So that is true. He won't be a captaincy choice next week. Matt says that's an annoying case as it gives you a headache. If you only had the correct money now, it makes it an easier choice. That's very true, Matt. Yeah, exactly. Not knowing whether or not I could afford him down the line would make it much easier just to do it now. And the plan always was, oh, Salah will be back in time for game week 24. I'll get him back into my team. And I think I'm just a bit concerned now, like what minutes does he play? Will he be benched? Will he just imagine on the off chance he does start on the bench this game week and then gets half an hour, and then we're not going to captain him against Burnley, and I probably wouldn't captain him this week because I'd be a little too nervous that he wouldn't start. Then do we risk it? Is the question, really. Risking him to go early is tough. Although Pra says Salah will start for sure, mate. He is like dead set he starts. Fernandez plus KDB plus Son is the way I'm going, says Nathan. Threemium love. Love that. It's great. Nucleus says that Salah doesn't need to be rushed back. He has Louise to fill in now. That's true. He has strengthened a little bit. He does have people who could cover. So, yep. Although, yeah, Profat says he fills Mane's position rather than Salah's. So, but I guess there could be a bit of jiggery-pokery done. But I've seen Salah in training. And when you see Salah in training, to me, that's Salah starts. He might get hooked at 60 minutes. I think is probably more likely to happen than the alternative. But I don't think. Nathan, we had to visually process your thoughts. Oh Lord, I don't know what's happening with my pull-throughs on my sites today. They're all over the place. Apologies is all I can say. But at least you know I'm live. And you had fun coming along with me as I just yacked along for a few minutes. I appreciate that you all stuck with me through it all. Perfection is boring, right, guys? It's boring. You don't want perfection. You want fun and entertainment. Yeah, Maestro, 8 Nori. Hopefully maybe Nathan has kind of got back to me a little further down. Hey John. That David says looks great, Nim. You're sorted. Which one looks great, David? The Ronaldo, the KDB, or the Salah off of the bat? Matt says nice looking plan. Bench boost is kind of a waste in game 26 since we won't get good of an opportunity to use the triple captainship. Yeah, true. John says he's going KDB with Bowen Bice. And Nuclear is currently on Cancelo captain. And John says I have Steer as my second keeper, thinking of getting Sanchez or Sarr as a river. Yeah, that's the only thing that's kind of worked out relatively okay at the moment, is the fact of having Ramsdale and De Gea through these particular fixtures actually turned out relatively okay for me on paper. Obviously anything could happen, so I'm not gonna say it's like quids in, like I did the right thing there, but at the moment, you know, on paper it looks pretty kind of like that's kind of come off okay. Maestro, if I go KDB for Gray and Kilman / Dalot / Webster for Rudiger, then I will captain KDB. If I stick with this team, which to be honest, that isn't going to happen. I'm going to take a -4 this week. I'm pretty sure of it. So let's just scratch that. Let's scratch the idea of me not taking a hit, because it's going to happen. So although watch me sell Gray and him end up being a fantastic option going forward. Now, obviously, I do have the option to sell Trossard instead, which would leave more money in the bank. You could say that by selling a double game week player and getting in a single game week player that plays this week and next week, that you're not actually selling a double game week player next week, because you're getting 2 games over 2 weeks rather than 2 games in 1 game week. You catch my drift. But I'm a sucker for a double game week, even though Trossard probably won't play both of them, or either of them probably in my case. But back to the captaincy question, because I went off on a tangent there, didn't I? I will, if I get KDB for Gray, which is likely to be Gray, then I will captain KDB. If I get Salah for Gray, straight off the bat, just go for Salah. Like, don't even follow, well, the plan's still there for, say, Kane or Son, but yeah, like avoid City and just go straight in on Salah. Then I have a bit more of a headache, because I've been flip-flopping between Jota and Bowen all week for the captaincy. So that would probably be a very last minute decision, if I'm honest. Thanks Nuclear for the reminder. Yes guys, if you're enjoying the stream, then please do hit the like button. I'd love to get 40 likes on the stream. And if you're new and watching and you're lurking there, just lurking in the background, then, you know, please do pop a sub. That would be great, and your name will appear on screen, or it should do at least. And hit that notification bell, because it'll tell you when I'm going live next as well. Do Antonio to Kane for free, or do Pedro to Kane and Madders to Elise for a hit and keep Antonio? Well, Antonio is back in training, so bear that in mind if you know, if you're considering like what you want to, like whether you'd want him or not. He's still going to be highly owned. He's still 41.4% owned, so if he does anything against Watford, which could potentially happen, then I think you'd probably want him. Also, Pedro to Kane feels like, I'm not even sure which Pedro you're talking about there. But Kane is a definite upgrade for sure. And Leicester have looked terrible. So I think, whilst I don't really want to advocate a hit, I would probably go the Pedro to Kane matters to Elise for a hit. Okay, hope that helps. The Wolves manager said he would start from now on because he was very impressed by his recent performance. Is that Aït-Nouri? That's good news if that's the case. That puts me on a bit of a kind of, do I, don't I, do I, don't I, don't I, don't I? Now I have to decide between Kilman and Aït-Nouri. Nathan says, to be honest, I can't afford Kilman. That's fair. That is fair. Like, you know, if we're just putting it out there, it's fair, isn't it? So it would leave me 0.1 in the bank if I went for a Mr. Aït-Nouri instead, who I remember back in the early days, Gianni was a big fan of last season. So this is my kind of original thought, guys. That's not... Although, maybe, was that like a premonition? Maybe it's just saying, get Bernardo back in your team. There we go. Actually leaves 0.7 in my bank. Oh yeah, of course, because I had the bit extra. So yeah, this was my original thought, guys. And anyone who stuck with me there through that whole process will have seen how I can get Salah back in, plus Kane or Son to cover the doubles. And yeah, it's basically just deciding between De Bruyne and Salah at this point, isn't it? And Aït-Nouri or Kilman. I think, does anyone think I should be going Webster or Dalot at this point if I'm not going for Ronaldo? I think it's just the Wolves have the mighty doubles, don't they? They have a couple of doubles now coming up. Plus, I mean, defensively they've been fairly solid. So yeah, so they have 26 double Wolves, and they still have Watford to be confirmed in somewhere. So that's what you're kind of getting with Wolves. John says, oh yeah, I read that one, didn't I? I've gone up. Shanoisy says, thanks Nim, go Salah. You will want him anyway. It's very true, but I also want KDB this week. So, when do I plan to use my chips? That is a good question. I am going to wait until the FA Cup fixtures, and then I am going to make a decision after that when I'm going to play my chips. So I have one free hit left, I have my wildcard left, I have my bench boost left, and I have my triple captain left. I am very much a Mario Kart player. And for me, I look at my chips a bit like the mushrooms. And so I keep all of my mushrooms until I'm quite near the end of the race. And then I just boost my way, hopefully as high up as I can. That's kind of the plan. Usually I'm a lot lower than what I am right now when I do that. So the plan is to try and hold rank for another couple of game weeks till I've got those FA Cup information in. And then I'll sit down and make a proper plan on who I'm going to, you know, where I'm going to use my bench boost, where I'm going to use my wild card, where I'm going to triple captain. As I was saying earlier, Shanoisy, is that what I want to do is have a plan to game week 27, 28, so that I don't have to wild card, or hopefully don't have to free hit in game week 27 in the blank. And then what that allows me to do is, should I get to, I don't know, game week 27 and hate my team, or want more people for game week 20, like more double game week players for game week 26, or a major player gets injured, then by then I will have all of the information, hopefully till the end of the season. Hopefully we'll have things like Aston Villa fixtures booked in by then, you know, and all these extra little fixtures like the Wolves fixture to be put in and all of that sort of stuff. And hopefully I can really sit down with my team and go, okay, I have this player here with, you know, these, like this bench and these doubles. I think probably triple captain Salah in game week 26. I mean, it's one of those ones where if you don't do it and everyone does it and he does something, you're stuffed. If you go against the crowd and he doesn't do something, then obviously fantastic. But I think just sheer ownership and just, yeah, there's going to just be so many people triple captain in game week 26. I think that's pretty much kind of locked in on that one. Bench boost will just be on a week where I think, oh, I can't decide who I'm going to bench this week. But also, as I say, when I have those FA Cups in place and I know who's playing who in game week 30, then I can sit down and I can go. But I think game week 30 is probably going to be quite a big blank. So with that in mind, I think I probably want to be looking at like effectively having my free hit for that or my wildcard for that. So that's why I'm trying to plan, you know, to game week 27 at least, so that I can kind of I can just have that there to fall back on should I not want to use any of my chips in the meantime. I think the main thing to say here is if I find myself in the next 2 or 3 game weeks really dropping rank, I'm not going to hold on to this team and just keep trying to plug away with it. If it cannot be fixed with a -4, then, you know, we are running out of game weeks now to gain rank. So if I feel like there's an opportunity to really gain some space between now and 28, where I effectively have my plan up to, then I'm just going to go all in and just, yeah, and just bite the bullet effectively and not worry about it. Has to be team specific on wildcards, and nobody should be giving anyone any jip about your wildcards. Like, if you want a wildcard now, you wildcard. If you don't want a wildcard now, you don't wildcard. It's so team specific. Just use it when, if and when you know, you feel it's going to help you most. But yes, thanks. There's 90 of you watching. Please do like and sub if you haven't already. Be really grateful. And yeah, hopefully your name will appear on the screen. And if it doesn't appear on the screen here, it may appear in one of my videos too. So that's kind of cool. I think Nathan was on my team selection video for becoming a member of the channel. So that's cool. Okay. Matt says you're in a good position in that you at least already have Bruno, so don't / have to figure out how to get him in for the double. That's true, but I did take a hit to get him in last game week, and that hurt because he didn't do anything, and then is now a yellow. So, Nathan says also more returns in less game time for 8 Nori. That's true. I should also check the heat maps between Kilman and 8 Nori. He offers way more an attacking threat. Yeah, I do know that 8 Nori is a lot more attacking than Kilman. I think it was just literally security, I think, with the Kilman pick, because like every minute of every game that's happy times, isn't it? If in your opinion, who scores more points, 24, 27, Ronaldo or Kane? Thanks for the content as always. Thanks, Stephen. Ooh, that is a tough one. If I don't get Ronaldo, then it'll probably be Ronaldo. I like that Kane is in form again now, and Kane is a great pick. Can you do the switcheroo, Stephen? Could you go Ronaldo 24, 25 to Kane 26, 27? Because that's probably what I would do if you can do it. David, the KDB route looks great to me. You have 2 times Liverpool cover anyway, and KDB is definitely the best captain option. Agreed. Agreed. Maestro says, I'm keeping Gray myself. Ah, don't tempt me, Maestro. It's only because Trossard has that double game week next week, isn't it, really, that's making me hold on to him. He probably won't play in either of them, will he? He'll end up probably getting benched or something. No, Myla. Nucleus says, my current plans are Edouard for Antonio this week, and in game week 26, -4, bring in Salah, Kane, and Nouri for Maddison, Ronaldo, and Soufal. So we'd be making the same -4 there, Nuclear, just obviously different players. I love the Edouard pick. I really do. And I think if I wasn't considering KDB this week, then I would get Edouard in. And actually, if I was wildcarding, I would get Edouard in. His minutes worry me slightly, though. Oh, okay. Pedro of Watford, John. Okay, thank you. Yep. Kane is a better pick than Pedro. EFO says Schalke is the best team in the world. Okay. Were we discussing Schalke? Rafiki says, bring Mahrez in, Nim. Rafiki, do not tempt me, buddy. Not interested in Digne. Maestro, yes, I am. If I go KDB this week, I cannot afford... In fact, if I go KDB or Salah this week, I can't afford Digne, I don't think, because he's 5-1 and I've only got... So if I go Salah, I definitely can't afford it. If I go De Bruyne, I'm pretty sure I can't afford it. No, it'd be 0.1 off. The only way I think I can afford it is if I sell Dennis to Ronaldo and then Rudiger to Digne. I like him as a pick. I think he'll be great. Just kind of going for a double game week player in the next couple of weeks that gives me a bit of extra cash to afford my premium transfer effectively. Did it not update automatically? The name should have updated automatically. Welcome. Oh, we've got Declan Butler, so thank you. Welcome to the Nim fam. And welcome Matt Francis as well to the Nim fam. There we go. I will just pop a check on the profiles and just see if it's updated there for you. Hopefully that'll update there. There you go. Welcome Matt to the Nim fam. Thank you for joining. Okay. PlayStation in Kurdistan, welcome. Hello. Turan says, will Sterling start? Any clue? I think with all of the KDB lads, it seems to be that KDB, Mahrez, Sterling, Foden, people seem to think those kind of 4 will flip and switch between who gets 1 game and who gets half a game or whatnot, in terms, because they're being Champions League. So people seem to think that Norwich will be the main rotation game, so you may see the likes. So even if I go KDB now, he may not play next game week. He may only have limited minutes. I think that'll be the same potentially with Sterling, Foden, you know, Mahrez. There's going to be, it's Pep, okay? There's going to be rotation. You know what you're getting with City you'll probably get a game out of one of them, and then and then hope that you get some minutes out of the second one. So you know what? If you think of it like that, I am potentially getting the same in KDB with minutes as what I would be getting with Salah, potentially. So that puts it in perspective a little bit. Interesting. Nathan said, Webster's the only player I would consider if you couldn't afford Cucurella. True. Don't need Dalot if you have David De Gea as cover in game week 25. Will Dalot start? Yeah, I believe so. I mean, there's some rotation risk there, but I think he seems fairly nailed recently. Gina says, hi, I'm watching from Solomon Islands. Wow, welcome. I have Sanchez and a non-playing goalkeeper. Should I take a hit and bring in a goalkeeper or goalkeeperless for this game week, this coming game week? I think that's a tough one. I think if you feel like when you bring that second goalkeeper in, that goalkeeper is going to cover a couple of game weeks for you, so you know you'll get some rotation. You'll be able to decide whether you want to play Sanchez, whether you want to play the second goalkeeper. Then I think it would be worth the hit. If you feel like you're going to play Sanchez most weeks from here now until the end of the season, then probably not so much. Let me have a look at Webster's fixtures so I can make a decision. Ooh, he scored a goal against Chelsea. Wow, that's him nailed. 4, is that because he's just potentially come back from nothing this week? Watford, Man United, Burnley, Aston Villa or Tottenham. I don't know. I think I still prefer Kilman. I think the other reason for going Kilman is that it gives me a bit of a backup on the bench. So should somebody like Bruno not start or KDB not start, then I have a bit of a bench this week, as opposed to having Rudiger and Trossard, who obviously, you know, are not going to start this week. Laporte replaces Livramento, maybe. Potentially, if you're thinking about my team, it would have to be a couple of game weeks down the line. Pranoe, Paul, I have Sterling. Should I captain him for this game week? I think that's a great punt. I think if you're going to go for it, have it on a stable vice captain. So somebody like Bowen, who you know will most likely start. Abadi, if Klopp's press conference tomorrow, when did he know it was today? And he's already spoken to the media, and he has pretty much, if you rewind to the beginning of the stream, I brought up Scout's quotes from the press articles, and they said basically that Klopp said that Moa said he's raring to go, but would have a light training session today, and they would do a fitness test on him. But basically, Mane's definitely not in contention where Mo is. Nuclear says, Nim, go for KDB and Mahrez this week. Just bring in Salah when you really need him. Antonio might not play. I haven't heard any more on the presses about Antonio, but I have seen that he's in training this week, so I'd be surprised why he wouldn't play. Nathan says, TAA triple captain for the win. Don't think I dare. Oh, imagine the scenes. If you went for game week 26, you went for Trent, everyone else went Salah, and Trent scored more points. How godly would you feel? However, on the flip side of that, you're going to feel absolutely terrible. I don't remember the last time I denied Salah triple captain and didn't go well. Moussa Dembele has retired, apparently, according to John. Rafiki's players going under the radar: Rashford, Elise, Mahrez, Robertson, Son, and Rafinha for me is another one I would check on that list, Rafiki. Great fixtures coming up. A lot of people using Rafinha as their monetary way to KDB or Salah this week, and I think that could end up hurting. I really do. Matt says that's a good point about not gaining rank. I have been stagnating at around 105 to 110 for the last 5 game weeks, so it's tempting to do something big to move up. I think that's why I'm kind of thinking of KDB now and doing the whole KDB thing for 2 game weeks. It could backfire. Hey, you know, there's so many teams that still have Salah. You know, I mean, he's been the most captained for the last 2-3 game weeks, even though he hasn't even been in the country. So the fact that, you know, he's just going to come straight back into so many teams, if he does something, it's going to hurt. However, just kind of thinking of the flip upside on this one with somebody like KDB or Mahrez, quite like the whole temptation on that one. Yeah, lads, I am just going to go with the Wolves defender. I just got to decide which one. Really is going to be Nori or Kilman. It's just those 3 there missing that really worry me. I'm not going to lie. Ibu, I'm not sure. That's in another language. I do see it's about Salah though. Gatunga, thoughts on my transfer plans? Hold my transfer game week 24. Bring in Fernandes for Jota in game week 25. Ship out Fernandes for Salah in game week 26. Oh, that's a lot of roundabouts there. A lot of swings and roundabouts. I don't know about selling Jota game week 25 because, but then yeah, I mean potentially when do, let me just double check on when they blank. So they have no, oh, you'd be effectively losing Jota potentially for Burnley and then Norwich and Leeds. That one is a tough one. Is there no way you can get to Bruno or Salah another way, or even to, I guess you're still going to want Salah, aren't you? Yeah, I think you need to find another way, buddy, because I'm not sure about selling Jota there. Rubber Ducky, the stress. I'm feeling you, buddy. I'm like, I've come off of here and I really won't have very long to sort my team, so I'm kind of like, panic. It's literally going to come down to the wire. I'm going to be like, Nori Kilman, Salah KDB. It's literally going to be my life. And do you know what? Considering it was that with the whole Ronaldo Bruno situation a couple of weeks ago, it really feels like I'm going to make the wrong decision again. Take Gray out for the hit to get Fernandes or Salah this week. Have 7 million in the bank or just roll. I'll go for... Actually, with Bruno being flagged, that's a much tougher question than it originally looks. I think Bruno starts though. I'd be tempted to go for it. I guess it depends on your rank and whether at this point you're happy with your rank, whether you want to chase, whether you want to go for it. A lot of people have Bruno. A lot of people... In fact, how many people still have Salah? Let's have a look at his ownership. I'm betting it's still massively high. Like 37.2%. So lots have Salah, lots have Bruno. If they do something, probably going to be hurting your rank. So I'd be tempted just to go for it. I mean, the ranks gains you'll get with Gray will be much greater if he does something. However, you're probably going to want Salah long term. You're probably going to want, excuse me, Bruno long term. Bruno, potentially great captaincy option for the double as well next game week. So I think I'd be tempted to go for it. Rubber Ducky, is Kane in form? Last time I saw Spurs play in the Premier League, Spurs got hammered by poor Chelsea. That's true. That's true. But actually, in terms of like what Kane has returned recently, in terms of premium forwards, Ducky, you know, he's done all right. He's done all right. So 1, 2, 3, 4 goals and 1 assist in the last 6 games. I mean, plus he did really well in the cup, so maybe he's back. Maybe, just maybe he's back. I mean, you can't expect him to score every week. Who to captain? Cancelo, Foden, Bowen or Fernandes, please? Ugh, I'm kind of stuck on that one too, Eddie. Between Pep Roulette, Foden, is he nailed? I'd probably go with one of Bowen or Cancelo because one of those is going to be nailed. And seeing as I am not a massive defensive captaincy person, I would probably go Bowen. But yeah. I think go with your gut on that one. Especially this week, go with your gut. Like, if you fancy a punt, have a go. Matt says, hey, Neymar brought Trossard in when Brighton had their last double game week. Amen. Amen, Matthew. And he returned nothing. Feel your pain. So I took him out the next game week so I wouldn't just keep players in because they have doubles. Yes, Matthew, you're very right. You're very, very right. It's just a bit of me that feels like the man owes me. He owes me. Big style. Nathan agrees with me. Bowen would be his bat. And Nathan got bossard by Trossard as well. So bring in Pogba. More assists. Yeah, oh yeah, that could be an option for the guy above instead of Bruno if it gets you there a bit cheaper. Nim, what are you doing about Trossard? As I've got the same dilemma. Zal, I think I'm keeping him. Just because I can kind of cover him on the bench this week by having Livramento back, hopefully, and starting and selling Rudiger onto a Wolves defender. So I think I'm against my better judgment, against any proper FPL tips and advice, so basically do the opposite. I think I'll probably keep him for the double for next game week. Thanks, David. Bye, buddy. Sorry if I already missed you leaving. Matthew says, we love your streams, keep up the great work, as I wish there was more ladies doing FPL. Oh, thanks, Matthew. Yeah, I've really been loving these deadline streams, so I think I will continue doing them, and as long as you guys enjoy them, that's the main thing. But do get back to me on my other videos, because recently I've been doing a lot more content, and I've noticed the views have kind of gone down. I don't know whether that's because like more hardcore people are watching across all of the videos, and so like there's not like a big spike in the views, or whether people just don't have the time to watch all of the content and they'd prefer like more condensed videos from me, like not as many. So like your feedback for me is massive. So if like as a content creator I want to grow, I want to do better, so if you can let me know what you guys prefer, whether it's, you know, lots of videos staying on top of everything, or whether you just prefer to watch like one video from me in a week and one deadline stream, like honestly I'm here for you guys, so let me know, you know, what it is you guys prefer. I would really appreciate it. And now you can message me on Twitter, you can leave a comment below, you know, get in touch with me. I'm super personable, I'll chat to anybody. So yeah, if you've got some kind of feedback for me on my channel, I will take it. Absolutely. Bongo Burger says, will DCL start today, and is it wise having Trent as triple captain when Liverpool double? I don't know on DCL, I haven't seen anything, but maybe one of my mods can have a look for me on the presses and see if there's any update on him. I think if you don't have Salah, then triple captain in Trent is probably a good shout. If you have Salah, though, I think you kind of have to. It's going to be boring as hell, isn't it? But hey ho. Well, I guess it depends whether he bangs in lots of goals, but you're probably not going to gain much from it. Hamid, please reply to me. Where's Salah? In my team or generally? I mean, I have talked about this a few times on the stream. He is back in the country. He's been in light training today. Klopp thinks that he will be in contention. He just hasn't really given us a definite whether he's starting or not. We believe now that he will get some minutes, but we can't tell you how many minutes. In my team, I'm still deciding between De Bruyne and Salah at this particular point. So I hope that covers everything. Yahya says, hi, sorry for being late. No worries, you're here now, all good. Football says, should I bring in Rafinha? I like Rafinha as a shout. I really do. Great fixtures the next few game weeks. Yeah, do it. Is Watford likely to be even more defensive with Hodgson as a coach? Yes. Which is why I'm not loving the fact that I have double Watford forwards. So I think, yeah, I'll be looking to move them on in the coming weeks. Should we replace Antonio and buy Edouard? I prefer Edouard as a pick. However, I think Antonio is back in training. So if that is the case, I don't really think I would mess with that potentially, although Antonio's form has been poor recently. Did get an assist against Leeds. Does have some nice fixtures coming up. If he's had a bit of a rest, could really be well up there again. I'm willing to hold on to him for a bit longer. Nathan says the reason he's wildcarding this week is he's got a stagnant rank. PV, hey Nim, what do you think of Dalot in for Rudiger and Bernardo for KDB, or Digne in for Rudiger and Bernardo for Bruno? I wouldn't do Bernardo for Bruno. Oh, hang on. Oh, those City fixtures are so tasty. But you don't have Bruno. Do you have Ronaldo, PV, is the question. Do you have some United cover, is the question. Nim. Salah ownership. You should reduce like 20% from dead teams. On FPL, he was the most captain player in a blank game week. Exactly that, Nathan. Interesting stat, Nathan. Digne off Tottenham defence. Gray or Dele Alli for Trossard? Ben, you selling ahead of a double game week? He has a double game week next week, Trossard, potentially, if he plays both matches. Without seeing Dele Alli, that's a tough one. So I'd probably edge towards Gray. But if you could leave it a week, potentially, maybe 2 weeks, get the double out of Trossard and then decide, because you'll have information on Everton, a bit more on how they're doing. You'll definitely have information on Dele by then. And you could make a bit more of an informed decision. There might be somebody else as well that you might prefer by then. Kane plus Ramsey or Son plus Edouard. So, Son plus Edouard, I think. Just. Best Rudiger replacements. Tierney or Aït-Nouri. Well, Arsenal have a blank in a couple of game weeks, so if you decide to go with Tierney, as much as I absolutely love the guy, you will have to make sure you cover game week 25 and game week 27 with Tierney. So that's that one. I probably would be more likely to edge towards Aït-Nouri, Digne, Laporte, Davies, or Dalot for Rudiger. So I would say out of those, my my top picks would be 8 Nori, Digne, and Dalot. PV, hey Nim, I have no Ronaldo, I have De Gea from United. Okay, so you see, if it wasn't for the really good City fixtures for Bernardo, I think I would prefer the extra fixture and potential captaincy option of Bruno long term, like in the next 2 game weeks, than I would Bernardo potentially. But that really could be one that could bite you. It's a difficult one, that PV. Is there anyone else other than Bernardo that you could sell to get up to Bruno? Because I would maybe consider them just based on Bernardo's fixtures. Thanks, Nuclear. I'm glad you're enjoying them. I should shoot off soon though, because I have been going longer than I had planned to. John says I have Reguilon and Davies of Spurs on my bench. Should I play them versus Southampton this week? Also have TA, Cancelo and Tini. Pick one maybe, John. Reguilon didn't play in the last match, did he? Why didn't he play in the last match? Someone that's in my brain. I feel like he didn't play and I don't know why he didn't play. Maybe choose one, John, and just have somebody on the bench who you're happy to come in. Maybe the other one, just in case one doesn't play. Maybe play Reguilon and then have Davies as backup in case one doesn't play. Welcome to Stavpa. Welcome to the Nim fam. Thank you for joining, buddy. Much appreciated. I'll just update you on the screen. I'm not sure why it's not doing it automatically. Everything today has just decided that it wants to make me do it manually today for some reason. It's just decided you can do everything today, Nim. You can earn it today. Work for it. Okay. Nuka says everyone talks about Brozier, but what about Ward-Prowse? Yes, love Ward-Prowse's pick. I think I put him on the watch list for Scout a couple of weeks ago. He's good player, takes free kicks, all good. I'm kind of looking over here the whole time, aren't I? That's a bit annoying for you guys. JWP rather than KWP, yeah, we both did that, didn't we? We're 2 likes away from hitting 50 likes. Oh gosh, please guys, if you're enjoying the stream, 2 likes away from 50 likes, so please do pop a like, much appreciated. PV says I have Salah, Jota, Bernardo, Bowen and Saka currently in midfield. I think bringing Bruno long term is better, but then maybe I can do Dalot and KDP and then swap out for KDB for Bruno next game week. Yeah, I like that because it's not far off kind of what I'm doing, although I already have Bruno, but I'm kind of potentially doing that with Salah. So I like that. I would do that, I think. You have Salah already, so you don't have to worry about him. On the upside of the next few game weeks, I think I would. So, yeah. I think just go with your gut PV on that one. And I think there's going to be a lot of Ronaldo and Bruno captainers next game week. So you probably want to be on one or the other. Pinga says, I need help to choose my captain. Don't we all? I have Jota, Trent, Cancelo, Cristiano and Bruno. Yeah, I can't get on either of those United lads for captaincy this game week, the way things are. I think Jota is due a rest soon, but then he has just had 2 weeks. But yeah. I think Jota out of those. Jota or Cancelo, I think. I mean, you can't write off Bruno or Ronaldo. This week is going to be a gut pick on captaincy, but I think Jota. I mean, that Leicester team, defensively, could be a romping for Liverpool. Oh, now I want Salah back. Oh, this is going to come down to the wire, isn't it? I'm literally going to be sat there, like, what is it? Is it 6:15? 6:15. Oh, can we sat there like 6:10, like Salah in, Salah out, KDB is. No worries, PB, and thank you everyone for getting me to 50 likes. Much appreciated. Honestly, this stream has been amazing today. I've really enjoyed it, and I'm glad you guys have enjoyed it a lot too. And I'm very grateful to the to a few new subscribers to the Nim fam. Very much appreciated. There's loads to come on the channel, and as I say, I love any feedback, so you know, just pop in the description below. It's always welcome, and I'm pretty sure there'll be lots of other content creators streaming today, so please go check them out. And just to give a shout out to the FPL Way as well, guys, you know, make sure you go check out their website. Got some cool stuff coming up that you're going to want to kind of check out in the coming weeks for sure, so make sure you head on to the FPL Way as well, which is Nathan, my moderator's site there, so the one that's highlighted, you can click on his link there. I'll just answer Sumia's question. Bruno, Foden and CR7, planning to go Foden to KDB and CR7 to Edouard, but Salah thought is doing my head in now. What do I do? Well, you're going to want Ronaldo for the double game week next game week, I would have thought. Bruno, although yeah, I guess you have got Bruno, but then would I really see? That's why I was considering Ronaldo, because to have both of them next game week would be great. And I guess you can't really do KDB without selling Ronaldo. I think forget about selling those three players, because they all have, Foden has great fixture this week and next week, and then obviously the United lads have great double next week. I would consider thinking about how you get to Salah for game week 26 for his double, up and coming double. Is probably what I would do. I would probably just roll, keep it as it is, and look to get Salah in. Yeah, in the coming game weeks, look how you can do that. Like, basically, what has been good for us guys is that United's fixtures and City's fixtures, the next two are good, but then they turn slightly meh. So that's a really nice time then to look to move those players on to Spurs and Liverpool. So that is what I would do. Sumiet, I would keep them for the next two and work out your transfers on how to get in Spurs and Liverpool for game week 26 onwards. I hope that's all really helped everyone. Thank you all so much for joining the chat. I will now bugger off and leave you alone and allow you to go and watch everyone else that's on. I'm sure it will start getting very busy now for the content. I may do another deadline stream on Friday, which will be my kind of team selection potentially and deadline stream all in one go if you guys want it. So do let me know in the description below. And yeah, please like and subscribe if you've been enjoying it, and I will see you all very soon. Till next time, Nymphree out.